Alrighty, welcome back. I'm your man, Bad Chad, and Queen Jolene's on the camera. And what we got going on there is we've got the motor set down in there. I've got the engine picker over there. So that means that the engine is sitting all on its own. If Jolene wants to come take a look right here, we can see what's going on. I put a piece of 1/8 wall flat running down the side of the chassis, ran that down there, connected the cross member to that, and then I took a piece of square stock and gusset it to the frame. So it's there. It's not, what can I say? It looks okay. I want to get down in there and grind the corners of the flat stock. I want to grind that and get that round looking and make it look a little nicer. I even said to Jolene, I might even, and once I get the engine, take it back out, I might even take this square stock here where I've got one square stock going up to the frame like this. I might take this and plunk this one here and plunk another one this way, so we'd have one going up this way to the frame, we'd have one going this way to the frame, and one going this. I'm not sure, I might. But today we're going to be doing the transmission mount. We've got the engine in there, we've got a lean on it. I know, everybody's, you know, there's conversation there that we're going to have, and we'll have it at the end. But what we got going on today is we're going to be putting the transmission in. If Jolene wants to bend down, I'm sorry, sweetheart, Jolene looks amazing today, as always. You can see the angle that I have, or what I have there with the transmission. It's not bad at all. You can see how flat the transmission pan looks good, I think, but everything is in order. You can see how this cross member here is just missing the oil pan of the engine. That's fantastic, like everything's working out pretty good. So this is what I'm going to do. I've got the transmission mount right here in my hands. I'm going to end up taking this stuff back out and getting it cleaned up and doing a little bit of paint and that sort of thing, but everything has to be in place in order for me to take it back out. There's no sense of me taking that back out and fixing the motor mounts and not having the transmission mount done. So while we're in there, we're going to put a transmission mount in there. So I've got this piece right here. It bolts one way or the other to the transmission. I'm thinking that the short side, there's a long side and there's a short side. I think the short side goes on the transmission. But we have a bolt that comes down through. It's pretty basic. That's going to bolt up to the back of the transmission. I've got a piece of 3/16, I think it's 3/16 thickness of angle iron. I'm going to drill a hole in that bad boy. I'm going to try to put it in the center. And what I think I'm going to do, I was going to run it up to this mount here, like run this across, one piece of square stock up there, square stock up there. I was going to do that. Nathan's in here today. He's trying to finish wiring up the trailer. Doug got it planked yesterday. Nathan's going to finish wiring it for me. But he suggested that I go that side of the frame and this side of the frame, and the reason being is for anything going back and forth sideways. It would hold it a little bit better, and I agreed. So that's the way I'm going to go. So let's do it. Let's do it. I'm going to put a hole in this bad boy. Nate, are you using the drill right this second?
I'm good for a minute.
Okay, I'm just going to steal it for a second, if you don't mind. Trailer's looking good. I got a step bed in there, I think. Trailer's looking good. The deck's on it. Nate's the man to wire it, and he's going for it. I should find out what center of this is first before I get going too far. I just picked it out of the junk barrel because it's in the junk barrel. 11.5. Center of 11.5, sweetheart. 5.5 would be, it's right, 5 3/4. She's my lady. 5 3/4. Looks good enough to me. I'm gonna drill a little hole in that, and then we'll get rocking and rolling and get it mounted in there. I have to thank the person that sent these in. I want to thank you very much. I appreciate it, because I'm going to use them right this present second. I'm going to use them. Thanks for coming back and watching. We appreciate it. There seems to be a lot of controversy on the engine laying back. There seems to be. We'll get into that here in a little tiny bit. Why not? ask yourself when you drive your engine or you drive your car up. We have a mountain here, it's called the Canning Mountain. When you drive your car up the mountain, every time you go up, are you starving that front main bearing of oil? Ask yourself. Would they do that? You know. Trying to hold up my boot, probably. That worked super nice, that did. That worked super nice. Nope, we're going to the next one. I just don't want that to take off and break my hand, that's all. That'll work. No. That works. Would like to have a little movement in there, a little bit, but that seems to be fine. Take that back out. I'll have to step drill bit right in it.
Okay.
I don't know if you need it or not, but. And if you need the other one, I got a couple new ones in here that you can use. I'm just going to set these out there for a second in case he might need them. I'm not sure. Do you? These ones are brand new, man. They didn't even have spanking yet. Probably work a little better. Alrighty. What I've got to do is I got to find I got to bolt that to the transmission. I'm going to find a bolt for this. That might be a harder thing to do than I think. Nate had an issue finding bolts and stuff in here for what he was doing. Just gotta have a bolt to hold that on, that's all. That's fine thread. Fine thread. It's a lock nut. That'll probably work. Put a little juice on it. A little juice on it. This way here, when I put the nut on it, at least I'll have a true read. Obviously, I'm not going to be, well, I'll be able to turn that when I put down the transmission, get my bolts on, leave it loose. Actually, I'm just going to leave this off. I'll bolt the mount to the transmission, then I'll apply this piece and put this piece on, and then we'll gear it up from there. So basically, what I'm doing here is I'm just going with what I have, and then we'll fix it up after I get the motor and transmission ripped back out of it again. So I'm going to leave these here. I'm going to go underneath there and bolt these up. I'm going to get a socket. See if we can't get a transmission mount put in it within the hour. That's what we want to do. Transmission mount within the hour. I should have a set that's something I don't have to dig for, but I should, but I don't, or I have not. Here we go. That'll work. I should almost spray them little bad boys, make them go in a little bit better. So when I get underneath there, they probably won't want to. Alrighty. I guess, I don't know if it matters which way I go in or not, but it's kind of been a trying time getting underneath this bad boy. Like Nate said, I could jack it up and do all that sort of stuff, but I'm kind of that person where that seems like that's adding work to my situation, and sometimes I just go for it the way it is, and that way there. I think I'm saving myself time, but sometimes I probably don't, you know. Sometimes I probably don't. Yeah, figure out which way this goes on. Goes on that way. I want to take the transmission out of this bad boy, or off the engine, and clean it. The engine has been cleaned, but it has not, the transmission has not been cleaned. On the engine leaning back, does your front crank seal sit in oil? I'm saying that the front crank seal is fed by the oil pump itself. So, to me, the only way that the front crank bearing would starve of oil is if the oil pump stopped pumping oil to it. That's what I'm thinking. Double time with the air ratchet on. So we've got the mount basically on the transmission. It's on there good enough. So now I have, get my head up out of here. Am I able to reach that? Nope. Are you able to reach that and pass it to me? Yes, please. And there's a nut there too. I don't know if I grabbed the... Yabba dabba do. Thank you, sweetheart. You're the best. You're the best. All right, so I'm just going to mount this angle iron to the mount itself, hoping and praying. Not hoping and praying, but that's going to work there just fine. Did I bring the wrench over with me today? Can I have that too, please? Thank you. My lovely sister. Hear the dinner bell, did you? Should have had a ratchet for that. We want to tighten this up in place, I would say. And the reason being is, I don't know if I want that way or the other way. I think I want it the other way. And the reason being is I'll be able to see where I weld the square stock on. I'm easier to see this side than the other side. So I'll take that back off. Put it on this way. When we take the motor out of this bad boy, I think I'd like to haul it out from the top. I'm pretty sure that it will quote through the top through one rib, so I'm going to have to make a door to the top of this bad boy. You can buy the transmission mounts. You can buy little tube bent transmission mounts exactly like the engine mount that I have up front. That is a bought-in cross member, and then it was made to fit. Sort of get that in there looking good. Going straight across. That's what I want. Now that I've got that in there, you can see that I got metal here and metal on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect it from here up to the frame up there, and there over the frame over here. So I'm just going to pull myself out, grab a chunk of square stock, yay! Did you see that? You think I was 20? Yeah, I'm gonna get up there with you, Jolene, just because I might be able to see what I'm doing. See if the square stock's long enough. It is too. Yeah. I want to get that on there somewhat straight. Looks straight to me. Now, put that on the top. That's what I'll do. That's cool. So what I'm going to do is I've got the angle iron stuck on there. Looks pretty straight. We're in center on each piece. We're center of... I'm going to check that out just to make sure. I'm going to turn this way. Just want to take a look and see if we're center on the rear end. It looks like it can be hauled over a little bit. Looks pretty good. And we can also, if I have an issue with if I want it one way or the other, I'll slot that hole down there a little bit, and then it can be moved over. You know, I'm not talking inches or whatever. I'm just talking if it needs to pull over a little tiny bit, I can slot the hole that we're making the transmission mount out of. We can slot that hole so we can move it a little bit either way. But what I'm thinking is the square stock that I have, I'm just going to 45 both ends and make it work. So I'll 45 it and weld it on top. That'll work perfect. That'll work perfect. So I've got one piece here, one piece here, one shire in the other. Just kind of wondering. if I cut them both the same. I gotta, actually I'm gonna 45 the short one and see if it'll work, and then if it does, then I'll cut this one the same length. That's what I'll do. Sometimes the old triangle that's on the top, it's on the bottom. Nope. It's greasy down there. It's greasy down there. Get another zip cut. Hey, like it up there, baby? Huh? Not bad? Not bad, she says. Yeah, so basically, you know, my consensus is, and I asked Nate, you know, the oil, the pump itself is what supplies the crank, the front crank, all the bearings. It supplies all the bearings. The only way that would ever starve of oil is if the pump stopped pumping oil. Also, when it gets pumped up front, he was saying something about the chain. The chain would throw oil all around the front. You have to remember too, if you were going up a hill, would your, you know, your crank bearing, is your crank bearing sitting in oil? No. No. So basically, the pump is what supplies it. Now, what am I looking for? Zip cut. So I would say that's a, what's that called? What are them called? A conspiracy. And it does not fly with me. The engine's going to be fine unless I run it with no oil. Just like any other car, if it runs with no oil, yep, it'll go, but it will be fine. So let's try this out. If this one works, sits down on nicer, I can get it, if I can get it plunked to the frame and get it plunked to that piece of, on both sides, well, this is the one I'm going to use. So, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Bit shy on that one. Let's cut the other one. We are over, the transmission would be over this way a little bit, and the reason being is of the pumpkin of the transmission is not in center. So that's what's going on there. Kind of wondering that. Well, we have this piece here, so we'll do this one. I think that one's going to work perfect on the other side. We've got the line of that transmission pointing perfectly to that rear end. That's where we want it. Alrighty. Now, that piece of angler I got in there, we're just going to take a look. Coming up with you, Jolene, baby. Thank you, Jolene, baby. I'll have to take a look at the angle pinion again before I start plunking any welds on. I'm just a little bit shy on that one. That one's a little bit long for that side. This one's perfect. Well, I shouldn't say that. Well, I can say that. No, I like that one better. And this one is a little shy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut another one. I'm going to cut another one. Hard to work on, I know, but I have a piece of square stock over here. Stop it. Look for me. This side. Getting faster, getting up in here. Huh, baby? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I could cut that off just a little tiny bit. And I'd rather make it long than short. Cut it off just a little tiny bit. Try this one again. I like to have them both feeling the same is what I'd like to have them. Looks good to me. This one's a little bit long. If I was down in there, it'd be, you know, if I was a mouse or something like that, it'd be a little bit easier. Cut this one a little bit shorter. So, how much longer are we with this one? A bit. Just need a little bit off. Start cutting these angles. The old mistakes can happen quite fast. when it comes to length. Oh, I'm happy now. Happy camper. All right, let's turn the welder on. And all I'm doing is, I want this end to sit nice on this end. You know, I want the 45 to all set on the angle iron there. I want that all there set on nice. And then I'm putting my finger underneath here, and I want it to hit the frame nice. I don't want it up on the frame, or it don't matter if it's up on the frame or not, but I'm putting my finger on the frame and setting that on there so that looks nice when I weld it on. Basically, I'm doing the exact same thing with the other side. Jolene's going to be so kind to pass me that stuff. Will you just pull the welder this way a little bit? Thank you, sweetheart. You're the best. Now, I'm going to tack it on from up here for a minute, and then I'm going to, and all I'm going to do is tack it on here and see if I can get it. I want it straight on that. There, looks good to me. Turn the gas off. Got the gas on? Gas on? Why can't I? Okay. It's up on the chassis nice. Everything's very sharp right at the present moment, and you got to be careful. Alright, now what I'm going to do is, I've got that sitting on that frame that side, that's sitting nice there on that side, that's sitting nice on that side. I'm going to weld the top here on the front piece, just weld along the front of it because I can see it. Weld this piece on this side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath and see if it looks, I want to get it straight, so it could be like this, and I don't want it like that, obviously, so I'm going to just go underneath and maybe eye it up. How far it's from the cross member on this side, how far it's from the cross member on that side, and we'll give it a little tack. And then I can weld it up after we pull the engine and transmission back out. And then we'll clean everything up and make it look like $1 million. I'm gonna climb in here. Just going to look at the pinion angle again to make sure. They seem to be okay. It's going to have a little pinion angle. The rear end's going to turn up. When that rear end, I don't think it's going to turn up much, but anytime you put power to something, the rear end is going to turn up. So basically, when we got the angle going down to the rear end, basically your rear end's going to turn up. I'm going in, I'm going in. Yeah. It's a hard place to get it. Alrighty, I can see. That's perfect. Just looking at the distance I got away from. I got a little bit of a cross member here that I can tell what half inch. Tying her out, making her straight, man. That's all I'm doing. Tying her up, trying to make her straight. Some easy to get burnt. Half inch away from that. Now I'm gonna do a little tack on this side. Awesome. There. Now, what needs to happen is I need to plunk a little bit of weld on it. So all I can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, baby, but I got that little pie shape there that's a gusset for this cross member in the chassis. I'm about ½ inch on line with that, and I just did the exact same thing with this one on this side. I'm about ½ inch on line with that one, so I just kind of put them in the exact same place so it looks square. I can't get my head out of here somehow. Ooh, I can see now. That's gonna be a hard one. Huh. I think I'm in a pickle. I am in a pickle. Wasn't so bad. Sometimes the welds don't look the prettiest when you're getting, when you're doing stuff like this, but it all can be fixed after I get the engine and transmission out of my way. Now, I want to zap this one on, and then I would be happy where I'm keeping it in place. Just trying to see what's going on. Damn fine weld for not seeing it. Alrighty, so pull myself back out of here. we have somebody here? How you doing, Dan? Geez, you walking with a cane today.
What the hell are you building?
I'm building a tow truck, I guess. Hey, what'd you do? Have a fall?
Oh my goddamn legs and back are giving over on me, old age.
Okay.
You'll get there.
I have no doubt in my mind.
Huh?
No doubt in my mind. Especially I keep doing what I'm doing. Alrighty. I would say I've got it nailed in place good enough that it's not, actually I want to nail right down the side if I can, just so it don't go anywhere.
So what's this, Dad?
What is it? I'm doing a replica, or not a replica, I'm doing a 1934 Doodlebug. They used to, that's what it's inspired by. It's an old Texaco tanker truck that delivered fuel to airplanes.
Okay.
And what it was made low enough and that you could go underneath the belly of an airplane and fuel up an airplane.
Wow.
I guess there was only, what, 4 made or 5 made, 6 made?
Yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of an oddity, but I had this old camper down back. I couldn't see it go to waste.
No.
So I might as well do something with it.
My Lord, you're doing a good job.
Oh, well, thank you.
Hey.
That welded nice.
I think you should build a helicopter.
I should. I'd be scared to get in it.
No, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Let's go.
All right, Dan, well, take care of yourself.
You too. You got Canyon Mountain all closed off?
Canning Mountain closed off?
Yep.
Are the bearings going in your car when you're going up the mountain? Front bearings starting
Sounds
to...
like something going on.
Oh, no.
I think it's the rotors and tags. All right, take care, guys.
You too, Dan. Have a good day. No worries. Alrighty, got that tacked on. Let's see if I can tack it on the top. Can't weld without my helmet. She's not going anywheres. We have now got we have the motor mounts put in, or the cross member put in. We have the transmission mount now put in. I'm going to let down the transmission. It's on this jack, so we're just going to let it go, see if anything happens. Come down just a little tiny bit on the mount. So right now at the present time, it is setting on its own power. And what I mean by power is its own mounts. All right, everybody, I'm not sure how long that took. Basically, what I did is I mounted the mount to the transmission, and then I went to the frame on both sides. Pretty basic thing. I think anybody could do it. If I can do it, you can do it. That's how I look at it. Also, with the engine, I think I'm not going to go with the conspiracy of it going to starve the front bearings. It's not going to do that. It has an oil gallery from oil pump to supply that bearing, and that's probably the way they made it, so it does not do that. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. If we come down to the front, we can see that line's lining right up with that rear end. Actually perfect. The engine looks good from the front view. If you come around the front view, that looks good, I think. Got it sitting in there nice. You can see yeah, it looks good. So now we have the motor and transmission mounted in the Doodlebug. A lot of people said, well, why wouldn't you do that first? Well, I did not have the engine out of the car over here to do that first. What I had first was the body. And to me, I do not stop if I haven't got something. I just keep on rolling, if you know what I'm trying to say. The motor, transmission, and all that stuff may be the first thing that should have been done, maybe yes. But in all the natural fact, does it have to be done first? No. What I did with the body, got the body all ready and all that sort of stuff, I'm still going forward. I'm not really going backwards any, like, I mean, snipping off a couple welds and moving a roof rafter does not bother me. That's not really lots of time. But basically the motor was over there. I had a hard time getting it over here because I did not have the truck or the trailer ready to bring it over. So I just kind of went on forward. And I suggest if you're doing your project, if you have not got something, do not stop. Go to something else and go for it. Like, it's kind of, I'm sheathing the ass end and put the trailer hitch on. The trailer hitch should have been on first. But I started sheathing it because I did not have the trailer hitch. And to me, that does not matter. I would not stop doing, some of this because I did not have that. When I got it, I put it on, and then we finished. We kept on going. Where I'm doing the engine, where the engine was not here first, I kept doing all this stuff so I can continue to work and carry on. When I get the engine, that's when you go for it. You would not want to bury yourself, so you could not do that, but that's what I would do. Just continue going on something else. If you're building something, there's always something to do to keep you busy. And if not, you must be done. All right, everybody, if you like what's going on, throw a like in. And if you want to, you can throw your belly button in on the situation on the angle of the engine. We phoned Jim last night, and Jim said that engine should run upside down. So, unless it was a dip motor, I guess there's sometimes I've seen when we were at Knotnex, he showed me the crank on this engine. It had like a dip thing, like a little spoon thing that would throw oil on stuff. And if it had a crank in it like that, yeah, maybe. But this is a new engine where the oil pump is supplying all the bearings. The only way you're going to have any issues, I would say, is if the pump runs out of oil. And like Nathan said, if you think you're going to have a problem, add some more oil. Put another liter of oil in it. And I don't think we're going to have any problems. But anyways, have a great day, everybody. We're going to see you at Syracuse Nationals. We're getting ready to rock and roll the 14th and 15th. I'm excited as a grasshopper. No, I'm not a grasshopper in chicken house. I'm not that excited. But I'm excited to go there and meet everybody that's into building their cars just like I do. Basically, I am building this thing so anybody could do it. And if you don't realize that, I use 3 grinders, a hammer, and a welder. And I can build a car. And so can you. Have a great day, everybody.